Transformation stories are so touching. I mean, isn't it amazing? The transformation of a caterpillar into a butterfly, a bad guy into a good guy, the transformation of Victor Tan into a real YouTuber. But most important, the transformation of Nazri Aziz.
This country is not only for the Muslim and the Malays. This country is multiracial, it is multi-religious, and we have to speak to all. We cannot just speak as if, we just represent the Malays and Muslim. No.
I'm like, what? They do say that leopard never changes its spots. I mean, it sounds great and everything. Sounds like you have a grand hero coming out from the fabric of UMNO here to save the world after his time skip. But when someone as legendary of a parliamentary troll as Nazri Aziz changes, I have to say, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So let's find out what leopard was like before this shocking, mind-twisting statement. Once upon a time, Nazri Aziz was a politician in BN who was just casually fighting battles every single day with his coalition partners feuding sana, feuding sini, which got so bad that allegedly one day he snapped, calling them an abused wife.
And you can read this yourself.
Which sounds like your typical feud between friends. Or at least it would be if MCA wasn't supposed to represent the Chinese community in the BN government at that time.
Not that it was very successful because of all the compromises.
Maybe not a racist, maybe he just doesn't like them, no problem.
Until one day, a crisis emerged.
It was basically the 2018 general elections. BN's grip on power was dropping because of a little thing called 1MDB. And our friend Nazri decided to play on the good old Cina Kaya narrative and then straight up went and attacked Robert Kwok for no reason.
Kalau berani Robert, dia datang Malaysia lah. Dia belanja punya duit. Nak tengok mana yang duduk. Jadi pengecut, penakut, tak ada telur, bondan.
Wow. That came out completely out of nowhere.
RPK's magic hat, it seems.
But it was like basically that good old-fashioned racializing your election defeats, as if somehow he didn't learn that Najib's Chinese tsunami comment didn't really help BN with winning any votes at all. Oh yeah, and that aside, Robert Kwok is Malaysia's wealthiest man and highly respected. But seriously, Robert Kwok was not just a rich man, he was also a rich and innocent man. How can you go out there and start accusing people of funding DAP, and then you suddenly go out and then start scolding people, mocking them for no other fact
than
that they are Chinese and they are extremely rich and you want to capitalize on that for your little political strategy? I suppose I should praise him though, cause like, it would have taken a miracle to cause MCA to do anything productive, and they immediately came out with two whole statements
calling Nazri a racist,
criticizing the man and saying he's not fit to be a part of BN. Congratulations, Nazri. Truly incredible. But hey, that's still not racism. You can insult your ally, which is supposed to represent the Chinese in your coalition.
Maybe your allies in general, that's cool too.
Insult one of the greatest Malaysian Chinese heroes of all time. But it's all good, bro. Fast forward to 2019. It's the Semenyih by-election BN is contesting. And here our good friend Nazri cranks the dial up to 11 by saying that Pakatan Harapan will cause Malay rights to disappear, while declaring that if you want to remove Malay rights, then you have to remove vernacular schools as well, even as he suggested that the Finance Minister, Chief Justice and Attorney General should not be non-Malay, non-Muslim because, oh, they didn't swear on the Quran, they're gonna be biased. Which, although you can't conclusively call it racism, kind of gives a similar vibe to Hadi Awang and the racist party that he leads, which, by the way, Nazri was once so proud to partner with.
You know, I've always been known as a liberal Malay and as a Malaysian first. I would like to prioritize my political belief. In that, saya akan mengutamakan Islam dan Melayu di atas kepentingan multiracialism.
Well, that seems to kind of solve it. It seems that multiracialism isn't that important for him after all. Perhaps he is just a pass mole, here to secure our trust, convince Anwar to switch sides, even as he makes deals with the devil. But as it turns out, it's not that simple. If anything, you could call him a realist or a brilliant strategic thinker.
Because we're all in politics. At the end of the day, whether a political party survive or not, where it's very much dependent on the number of seats that you win in order for you to form the government at the federal level or the state level, in order for you to implement your policies.
Wow. Now, what do you get from that? What I get is that this man is the kind of person who will survive no matter what. Nazri is one of the most skilled politicians in the entirety of Malaysia. He is an opportunist that has spanned multiple administrations and multiple prime ministers, risen to the highest positions in power across Mahathir, Badawi and Najib, now even Anwar as well. But then that raises another question. If he felt that UMNO and PAS was the direction back then why is he supporting multiracialism and saying that this country is not only for Muslims?
By any chance, did he really transform?
When you look through the whole dizzying array of things that he has said so far, anti-racism, celebrating Lee Chong Wei, Nicole David, his contract ended, he says he doesn't need a political comeback, he just wants to help Anwar prepare for GE16. I don't know, like maybe make America great again,
Or more seriously, the Malaysian ambassador to the US thing.
really change him, even as Malaysians were praying for California and the White House to burn down. Who can say, right? To me, that definitely feels like a transformation.
But then again,
When I think about it, the word transformation is such an arrogant word. How can you say that somebody was transformed when maybe you didn't even know him in the first place?
so yeah, what if Nazri never actually changed?
Weird as it seems, there are signs that our sepupu could have been like this ever since a long time ago. May I remind you that this is the very same Nazri who told Ibrahim Ali to go, the same Nazri who called Dr. Mahathir a bloody racist. But this begs the question, was he always like this? A true fighter for the Malaysian people, playing a show as a character on the stage, misunderstood because he could not express himself properly?
Well, again, it's not that simple.
I mean, with Ibrahim Ali, you could think of that as a good cop, bad cop situation. You know, build your reputation as a multicultural man while somebody else does the dirty work of putting those non-Muslims in their place.
For all we know, this could be the Nazri Akmal dynamic.
And let's also remember that when he called Mahathir the bloody racist, that was after becoming Badawi's hatchet man, became Malaysian first during the era of Najib, who, by the way, was the most powerful person in the country at that point in time. Maybe he's building off the US ambassador thing and trying to get his next job from Anwar. Maybe he's trying to become the next prime minister of Malaysia. I mean, like, how can you tell? You never know, right? See, I think this shows us one very important thing. It is so hard for us to understand or even see what people are thinking, let alone seasoned politicians who have known for years exactly what people want to hear and know how to say it to them in the most skillful way at the right timing. But what I do think is that good things should be celebrated. It's true that he's still connected with Muafakat Nasional, which makes us wonder if he's still running on the UMNO PAS support grind. I could come up with 100 stories in my head about how maybe secretly he's a liberal who would change the country for the better, save it, reshape it so it can reach its true multicultural nature, if only he wasn't constrained by the people around him and forced to say things that he doesn't believe in because he needs to hold power in order to redeem this country. And you know, faced with all these conflicting pictures of the man, what he is and what he is not, we could ask in our heads 1,000 times, will the real Nazri Aziz please stand up? And for all we know, we might never get the answer. But you know, it's true that a leopard may never change its spots. But at the end of the day, politics is not just about Nazri Aziz. It's also about what politicians think is suitable, right, and appropriate to do. Maybe what we're aiming to change isn't the leopard, but it's the jungle. Which is why this next part goes directly to Nazri himself. Dato Sri, I find it fascinating why you've decided to do this. Is it because you've truly changed as a person? Was it because you felt that the political ground changed and somehow it became beneficial for you to become a multiracialism advocate? Was it an elaborate plan to make Anwar support you for your next job? Or were you really secretly like this all the while? It's so hard to say, and I'm pretty sure the entire country would love to know and welcome you to respond directly. What's for sure though is that you are definitely the least likely hero for multiculturalism that I would expect in this entire timeline. And probably not someone that everyone trusts, given that 52% of people think that you genuinely changed and 48% think that you did not. But you know what? Whatever your motivations, I want to thank you for what you said, because I think that Malaysia is currently at a crossroads and we really needed you to say what you chose to say, especially in this era of 3Rs, ridiculous debates about Christmas, Chinese New Year, becoming Hannah, and Zakir Naik and his finest student. It is a disgrace and we are a laughing stock. But that's why I think that what you said was so refreshing. Because when you came in, it really just jolted so many of us. It shocked the political environment and really made the jungle just pause for a quick bit and be like, whoa, he said what? They say you're not influential, you can't really influence what happens in UMNO nowadays, but I think with your extensive experience, you have the potential to reshape the entire game so that any future Nazri Aziz that wants to come along and be opportunistic will find it beneficial to speak on behalf of inclusivity rather than on behalf of division. I mean, yes, you've said some rather ridiculous things in the past, and you might want to check your old wedding partner and friend, PAS and Muafakat Nasional, for all the racism, fitna, hatred of non-Muslims, if you really want to be on this course though. Because frankly, it's not a good look to be calling for multiculturalism, but still maintain links with them without taking an active effort to actually reshape them. I mean, I don't think many Malaysians in the first place actually trust you, and for better or for worse, I think it is something that you have to reckon with, but credit is due where credit is due. Whatever the reasons that you decided to say what you decided to say, thank you for speaking up for Malaysia's diversity, because what you said changed the game. It could be for some goal, for a job, maybe you want to build links up with UMNO or whatever it is. But if there's even a small chance that your transformation is genuine, and there's a part of you that really wants to build a multicultural Malaysia and make Malaysia great again, I want to believe in that possibility, Nazri Aziz. Because whatever strategic element or ulterior motive you may have, it is an undeniable fact that it is something that I'm deeply grateful for. This video was titled The Transformation of Nazri Aziz. And up until now, I still don't know if you have transformed. If you have, then feel free to let me know. If you are sincere, I look forward to seeing you work more with Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim in winning GE16 or other GEs that may come along in the future. And if you play your cards right, maybe even to see you as a future Prime Minister of this country. Cause you see, I have a pretty good feeling that if you really are Malaysian first, the best years of your life, and hopefully Malaysia's lives as well, are all ahead of us. Alright, and that's all I have to say about that, and bye.